They came into the year with 2 young all-star pillars and a lot of depth, all the result of an unprecedented brand of roster building over a number of years. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, and a lot of quality rotation pieces felt like a lot. But the Philadelphia 76ers were not satisfied with their chances to win big now. So the assets apart from Embiid and Simmons packaged up, sent away in return for 2 more all-star caliber pieces, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Where has this phase of their construction brought them? To a moment of real pressure. Here's Scoop Jackson.
We've been told to trust the process and finally starting to see some results.
Trust the process, my brother.
Everything that has happened, I've been here, I went through all of it.
The process is so over, so done, so 2017. It's finally time for all of us to let the process go. The courtship was cute, engagement, nice, but it's till death do us part-time.
Process that!
Joel is official. Ben is no longer a rookie. Rex has found his comfort zone. Jimmy and Tobias are elite, and Brett is no longer new to this.
The new energy of all these great players and bringing a new energy to the city, it's definitely what we need.
Philly is back on the map.
It's Philly versus everybody.
The Sixers have outgrown the process being how we see them. They've outgrown the process being who they are, which means the process can no longer be an excuse, no longer used to make us think the Sixers are still a work in progress, trying to figure it all out. No more. Time's up. This is the end game.
Butler rises for 3 and he hits it.
Simmons cuts to the rim and he throws it down.
Embiid with a flying jam.
The word potential left Philly a long time ago. The term process should be next to follow. The belief has shifted. Now is now. All faith in the Sixers rests in the results.
This is sports, right? You have bad seasons, then you get great draft picks, and hopefully if you do everything right, it leads to championships and banners. That being said, Philadelphia actually marketed their process. So has it actually worked?
I think it's worked because they're relevant. And they are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. They have a legitimate chance to win the conference this year. They have an all-NBA player in Joel Embiid. Ben Simmons is going to continue to be a perennial all-star. I think they retain Tobias Harris if they write a big check. And I think that's a good core moving forward, especially if they have J.J. Redick as a shooter.
I think it's working.
Working, okay.
They've done a good job of, like Jalen said, assembling some great talent. They got some cornerstone pieces for the franchise, which was the reason why you lost so much. It's working, but until you win it,
right,
it's yet to be seen.
That seems fair.
I mean, the best thing you could do is put yourself in position to be a contender for a long time. And I think that's what Philadelphia has done. When you get 2 marquee franchise guys and Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, then you add the pieces around them. Moving forward, they got a key free agents this summer. Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, just to name a couple. Even if those guys left, even if those guys left, they still have their core pieces in place.
No.
That's something you can't say about a lot of teams in the East. In the East, you talk about Toronto. If Kawhi leaves, their process is probably done. In Boston, if Kyrie leaves, who knows? They still have some young process.
No, we've seen them do without him.
If these 2 dudes leave, Paul,
no, I'm saying
it's a wrap,
Embiid and Ben Simmons are there to stay.
Yes, that's not enough. That's not enough.
The process still continues because you still have two franchise guys that you can still build around that free agents are going to want to come play for.
I think you've lowered the bar on your franchise thing just a little bit. Joel Embiid belongs in that category, but he has a real injury history that you have to be concerned with. He even missed playoff games last year as well. Ben Simmons, we know he got to get a jump shot, P. He got to at least attempt a shot outside of 15 feet to be considered an elite player. And with those 2 circumstances going on with your 2 best players, this is why you definitely need a Tobias or Jimmy to be a rock for the regular season and or times that Joel may be out.
Chauncey, time to shine, buddy. So Toronto, obviously, game 1. If you're Philly. And then Philly figured something out. Will those adjustments stick, and can they continue to work?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the playoffs. You know, every game is different, and you start to make adjustments. Game 2, Philly did a terrific job of not only playing harder, but we'll show you some of the adjustments they made. In Game 1, for some strange reason, they played Kawhi straight up.
Because he's taller than him.
And he got 45 that night. But Tobias, he did a good job, but this is a tall order. They leave a man on an island. I mean, you can't leave a great player on an island like that. Game 2, even though this guy still got 35, it didn't impact him that much, but impacted everybody else. Now, you look at the physicality. You look at Greg Monroe comes over right away, hands high. Watch the rest of the play. The Sixers continue to play, not just with the double team. They block a corner three-point shot, Ben Simmons did. That's the kind of physicality they played with. Game 1, the pick and rolls with Kawhi, they allowed him to get to his spot. You can't allow a great player, look at Embiid right here, in a drop. He just doesn't want to give up a layup. But guess what? That is a layup for Kawhi Leonard. You let him get to his favorite spot. In Game 2, watch Joel Embiid on this play. He's coming off, going right like he wants to. Embiid is all the way up past the three-point line. Now, great players find a way to get out of that trap, but he's still playing in a crowd. 3 people paying attention to him. And watch what he gets here. A pass to a guy that's not on target. It's not shot ready. And Jimmy Butler. Game 2, Jimmy Butler took it into his own hands. After taking that 45 in Game 1, he said, you know what? It ain't going down like that. He took it into his own hands, got 30 himself. He's a guy that's going to have to be big, but the prior 3 games, Jimmy had 30 combined. In the last game, he had a terrific game, got 30. They're going to need him to be very, very aggressive in this game because I think they feed off of his mantra, his toughness. I really do.
Vibe.